And bam, bam, bam. What is up, guys? Hope we can all hear me. I should probably plug in some headphones, but how's it going, guys? What is up? Sorry for being a little late. I do have some family over, but what is up? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Rashad, how's it going? I do have some family over, but I was like, boss man Steven wasn't able to get a show running today for Clock Blockers. We will be on tomorrow. Me, Steven, Nikki Smokes, doing a little Hot Take Tuesday, maybe a little Therapy Monday as well. But I thought, hey, tonight I might as well hop on for as long as I can and just talk a little bit of Therapy Monday for us guys. So let me get some headphones on, make sure that I'm sounding beautiful for the beautiful Fins fans. And let's do it, man. First like of the night, Mr. Kevin Lee, always a legend. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in right now. It is Nando Talk on the Miami Sports Music, a podcast network. How we doing, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Way to hold it down. I appreciate you, boss. It's I do have the family friends from Peru. I've got the great grandma in as well, but we're good to go right now. Mr. TD Fins Talk, how's it going, boss? First of all, it was a pleasure talking to you the other day, man. Felt like I said, I felt a little bit out of my depth, but it was a fun chat with you. And, a pleasure, boss. Thanks for tuning in and stopping around, it's always a fun time to be a Miami Dolphin. If you guys obviously know TD, but hey, it was a fun chat. We had me, him, and Steven last Tuesday. And who knows? Well, maybe we'll be having more chats coming up soon, But thanks for dropping in, boss man. But how are we doing, everybody? How are we feeling after a tough loss in Buffalo? A game where honestly there wasn't a lot of confidence beforehand. A lot of us thought that it didn't seem like Miami could hang in Buffalo in the cold and then later in the snow. I think we were +7 beforehand, and it was not supposed to be pretty, but we did actually put up in there. We hung into some far. You did tell us, TD, we were going to lose. 0-3 over this road stretch is a tough one, bro. It's definitely by far the worst case scenario. Worst thing we wanted to see as fans is go from 8-3 to 8-6, not even squeeze out a win. Tough freaking going. Tough sledding, especially in that no, But yeah, you could definitely argue Tua didn't show up because we didn't win. However, I do think Tua did make some nice plays to Waddle, some nice plays to Hill. A couple of plays he left on the field, some runs where he was stumbling, a little bit of a low passes. But guys, 29-29 with 2 seconds left on the clock. It wasn't a blowout. It was a close game, blow for blow, a game where, again, no confidence, no faith was given to the Miami Dolphins beforehand, and they showed up. They showed up in Buffalo. This isn't the same team of old that would go in and get their absolute ass pummeled in by the Buffalo Bills. It sucks that we did lose, and if we could have somehow won, it would have been a lot tougher to swallow those 2 previous road losses. 1 and 2 again during this little road stretch was the goal, and we did not meet that goal. We failed, and now our playoff hopes look a little bit weird, and I say weird because a lot will say that we have no shot of making the playoffs. A lot will say it's easy. We just have to beat the Jets. And as positive as I am, I also know that the Jets are not exactly going to be a cakewalk. I know that they have been a bit of streaky, but so have the Dolphins this season. The Jets, at the end of the day, are a team that's going to be getting only as far as their quarterback will take them, whether it's Mike White, whether it's Zach Wilson. And you could say the same thing about the Dolphins. If Tua's on, if Tua's hidden, if he's connecting, we look unstoppable. We look like we can hang with anyone. And I've heard several people from Buffalo say they don't want to run into us in the playoffs again. The problem is that consistency. San Francisco, Tua did not show up. Chargers, you could argue play calling. You can argue it's Tua, whatever. It wasn't there. Against Buffalo, I think Tua did make plays. We were running extremely well also, which does contribute to the fact that Tua was able to find a little bit more space in the passing game. You run. It's like we talked about at Mr. TD, if you're still there, you run the ball or you take a little bit of pressure off of Tua, and he'll find some space. He'll be able to find a little bit of room. He'll be able to make those bigger plays as well down the field because the defense will have to respect and worry about the run. And then for some reason, we forgot about the run. We strayed away from it, and I don't know why. I don't understand what the logic was on for that. It was very weird. But I agree, Ronnie. Now we can't lose any more games. The Packers game is a must-win. 11-6, my new favorite numbers. That's the way we got to go. That's the thing we've got to rock with. There's no margin for error. The Dolphins still control their own destiny, but the margin of error has greatly dropped. I think mathematically there are scenarios where as long as we beat the Jets, some other things can happen, and the next two games aren't must win. But for all intents and purposes, the losing has to stop. We can't go 4 losses in a row. We can't go from 8-3 to 8-7. That's a nightmare. Okay, so beat the Packers. Go beat the Patriots, beat the Jets, restart that win streak, restart that confidence, restart that energy. That's all I need to see from these Miami Dolphins. Because if we had played another game in Buffalo like we had against San Francisco against the Chargers, which, mind you, terrible football from the Dolphins, not a complete game on any parts. And we were still against the Chargers down by 6. That's how we lost. And against the 49ers, it was a one-score game until towards the end when we lost 33-17, I believe. But yeah, guys, it's not. And then, the point of that was against Buffalo to lose by a field goal in the last second, despite all the elements, despite everything stacked against us, for our team to face that adversity and actually play that. There's no such thing as moral victories. It sucks to go 0-3. The only silver lining a positive guy like me can find from that, though, is that the offense did seem to be clicking again. And I've got to hope that back at home in some nice, favorable conditions, the boys will get their confidence back, get a win, and build on those positives we saw in Buffalo. That good running game, those nice actual plays by Tua being made. But it was not enough for a win. So to make a very long-winded point short, Tua did show up at times. The offense did show up at times, but we didn't win. So none of it matters. Hell. Dun, 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 dun. Let me read comments again. Good evening. Yes, good game. I'm glad we played a good game. It was game of the year in my opinion. Someone tried to tell me that the Eagles Lions game at the beginning of the year was better, and that's a week 1 game versus talking about divisional rivals with playoff implications. Oh yeah, much better. Shag Fins, hello, how's it tuning into? Thanks for tuning in, boss. Man. Oof. Yeah, the road to the playoffs is extremely weird, but the Jets is a must win. The Jets, I think mathematically, we have to beat the Jets in order to make this playoff. It is massive that the Patriots and the Jets lost this past weekend. Sucks that the Chargers won, but massive that the Patriots and the Jets lost, because then we still stay in second place in division. We didn't fall all the way to 4th like there was some fear after on Saturday night, Sunday morning. No. We avoided that, but the pressure is still on us. Let's go. Let's get some wins. Balance. I agree. We need to get some balance up in here. It's the only way that this offense is going to actually work. And I get it. Then that opens up a whole world, and Tua is not elite because he can't dominate as a pass-heavy offense, whatever, blah, blah. I don't care, bro. As long as we win games, man, I'm tired of losing. If I have to be the quarterback, which would be scary, guys, you're going to need Adrian Peterson and Barry Sanders prime time back there to support me at QB, but whatever it takes to win, get some wins, bro. Whether it's Tua lighting it up, whether it's Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson stealing the show, whether it's back to crazy defensive football, let's get back to winning football, guys. In an ideal world, balance on offense and defense, balance between the passing and running game as well. But I just want to win. I just want to win games. He did run the ball well, and he was worse, 17 for 30. Yeah. Was he really that? TD, I don't know, man. Like when we started to stray away from the run and it started to get like a little weird, on 3rd down, calling dumb passing plays, little speed outs when it's 3rd and 2, like little stupid stuff like that. Like, yes, I get it. Tua shouldn't make those plays, but it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But again, if you got to question the play calls, it's all in the QB as well. At the end of the day, Tua, there are definitely some passes. I have to admit, I did not look into the film again. I've got family in, but before tomorrow's show on Tuesday, we'll be rocked and prepared. But there is definitely times where Tua had to complete some of the passes. There were definitely some of the times where there were some drops. There were definitely some times where there were some stupid play calls. All in all, I think Tua did have a decent game, but decent don't mean dick when we lose. So excuse my language. Yeah, I'm not as concerned. I agree. I think we can play with anyone, especially over the Packers, Patriots, Jets. I'm not worried about those games. Packers Christmas Day, a little worrying with Aaron Rodgers, always trying to play well and win some games. There's some chance he ekes out some old school magic again, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Fins up, Mr. Adam Sadowski. What is up, boss man? Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while. Solo Boy Zoe. In the playoff, our quarterback would have to keep up with the other quarterbacks to win. I agree, which is why if we had lost to Buffalo to a 2-score, 3-score game in the elements where we completely got manhandled, it would have been disappointing. Obviously, it's disappointing that we were up and then we still ended up losing the game. That sucks. But I think we showed that we can keep up. We can hold up. We couldn't say that after the San Fran and Chargers game, though. Kevin Lee, thanks for donating, man. Thank you. I always appreciate that. 26-21, Miami out of the game with a touchdown, though. Exactly. That is where I do get disappointed in Miami having the lead, being up, and then letting it go to waste, not sustaining drives, stupid penalties on offense and defense, and we literally shot ourselves in the foot. That's where it gets disappointing, man. It is exciting that we were up in the lead in a game that we thought we were going to be getting either trailing or just being an ugly game in general. It was nice. Again, no moral victories. I can't say it was nice that we had a lead at one point, guys. Fact of the matter is we lost, and it sucks. But have some hope and some faith, huh? Tua is garbage. Tua is garbage. Tua is garbage. No, Tua is not garbage. Next point. One touchdown, 26-21, and it's over for Buffalo. Miami had it in the fourth. I agree. We had the opportunity to put the last nail in the coffin, and it slipped from our hands. We didn't hammer it in, and we let the beast open it up, kick the coffin open, get back from the dead, and bite us back in the ass, man. Once it started snowing, once Buffalo was sustaining their drive, I looked to my little brother and I was like, dude, we're gonna get a field goal kicked in our face right now. Situations turned. It might have been like, maybe Jason Sanders misses. And, even then when it looked like the Bills, but it's the Buffalo, they know how to kick in the cold. And then when it looked like, it's going to be in the 40 yards, we get a stupid penalty. It ends up being a 25-yard field goal. That was money. And bam, we were out of that game. It sucks, man. But held up high, man. We were in there in Buffalo. We did it. Right now, Finns are 7th seed. Fish are 7th seed out of playoffs. If we're the 7th seed, that means we're in the playoffs, right? Like there's 7 teams in the playoffs, bro. So got to check on that. The game came down to the Bills scoring before the half, dropped TD passes, and Sanders not running through his routes. Agreed, guys. When it was 21-13 entering that half, when they scored at the end, that was a moment where the Dolphins of old would have collapsed. They would have, you would have started seeing a little bit of pee dribble down their legs entering a halftime and go, oh snap, we're about to get our shit rocked, honestly. But instead, the Dolphins seem to gather themselves again and fight back hard, forcing punts, trying to score points, doing whatever they could, which is why it's frustrating that down the stretch of the fourth quarter, we slipped up the win, We have to be able to finish games. We have to be able to play 4 quarters of football on all 3 sides, offense, defense, special teams, guys. And until the Miami Dolphins do that, I understand why there will always be some fear. But their chances are right there. Come on. It was so close. I guess you can say you are not cooking Buffalo a big loss in the snow. Oh, is that Solo D's lines? Yo, Solo's still going to drop bars. Bars are forever. Bars are immaculate, man. They can withstand the test of time. That's all I know, man. He spit a banger, and I'll never take that away from my boy Solo. Definitely play that track back if you ever wanted to hear some fun vibes. My guy Solo always drops week to week a nice Miami Dolphins banger, fresh off the top. That's just talent, man. He has turned it around a bit, honestly, man. Like Jason Sanders, I still don't have any confidence in him kicking deep, but at least I'm not terrified of him missing a 30-yard field goal anymore. So there we go. What are your thoughts on us torching them running? At least, Buffalo can't stop a run. I agreed. Hey, I know that's a shot to Mark, but I want to see more from the run game. I was very excited to see Jeff Wilson and mainly Raheem, honestly, just freaking popping off, bro. Even Savon Ahmed had a rushing touchdown. That was huge. Bang. Is 10-7 a successful season? So 10-7 is the new 9-7. It's not successful. It's not a failure if you look at it from an objective bubble kind of view. You can't tell me that an above 500 season is a failure. And if you had given this before the season, I believe that we would have all been in agreement saying 10-7, not a failure, not a success. It's year one, Unfortunately, though, or not unfortunately, but how am I going to phrase this? But because we are now going from 8-3 to 8-6, 10-7 wouldn't exactly be successful because of how far we let it slip down the second half of the stretch. It would still raise those concerns that the Dolphins are a team that doesn't have the staying power of having a full successful season that we can eke out. We're streaky, that we can go win-loss streaks, or that we can only put one half of the season versus the second half of the season, or vice versa. It still leaves a lot of questions open because of what we've seen now. So 11-6, bro, please. 10-7 though, with playoffs and a playoff window, that erases everything, and that's the big caveat. Whatever record it takes to get to the playoffs, 10-7 and 11-6, whatever it may be, as long as we make the playoffs and win in the playoffs, who cares? Because once you get to the playoffs, your records don't matter for nothing except for seeding and home field advantages. Then it just matters who's better that day. So the Dolphins win a game. If we make a little bit of noise, I don't care what our record is. That's the difference, though. So, Ronnie, it depends on what kind of 10-7 season that is. Who would you rather face in round one? Tennessee, Kansas City, or Cincinnati? Obviously, the easiest lob up would be that Jacksonville game, I think, especially because a lot of Dolphins fans could drive up to it. But no cheap shots, no cheap way outs. Okay. Tennessee, Kansas, or Cincinnati. Obviously, nobody wants to play Mahomes round one. It's not exactly the most fun of times. But if there is a moment where you are going to play the Kansas City Chiefs, I would rather try to stun them in the first round. We would not be your average 7th seed. So that would be some pretty interesting vibes. But nobody wants to go against Mahomes. I'm not even going to try to invoke that for the Dolphins. So I think Tennessee is that answer. If we go there, it's an emotional game for Ryan Tannehill. It definitely adds a bit of fuel to him. But Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes are the type of quarterbacks who, if they catch magic, if they're on fire, I'm not trying to duel in round one when we ourselves are having an emotional game also. So if it's emotion versus the Tennessee Titans, I think we're just a better team to beat them. They're going to they would rely heavily on their running attack with Derrick Henry, which seems to actually be a bit of a strength for the Miami Dolphins. We seem to be able to stop the run a lot more than the pass right now, which is not what I thought I'd be saying at the start of the season. But secondary's banged up. So I'd rather face that more one-dimensional Titans offense in round one, get the jitters out of our way, get a nice decisive win. And driving or flying to Tennessee would be a fun time. I think we'd get a nice crowd of Dolphins fan. I've also been to Nissan Stadium. I was there for the Lions-Titans game. And it was a pretty fun time, a pretty cool experience. So I would not mind going back to that stadium once again. I really found it cool, though, how for the Titans, how we on third down, and that's another Miami Dolphin first down. For the Titans, they go, and that's another Tennessee Titans first down. And then they do the little Spartans, oh, from 300. It was pretty badass, honestly. So it would be a pretty fun game. I'm down for Tennessee because of the vibes of Nashville, because of the matchup versus Tannehill, and I think it's just a winnable game, honestly. So great freaking question, Kevin Lee. If I feel like if we lose against Green Bay, George Albanese, I understand. The facetious side of me could say, well, it doesn't really matter what any of us think. As long as we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs. But I understand, like, if we lose to Green Bay, I don't have a lot of hope that we'll make any noise in the playoffs. You know, we're supposed to be better than Green Bay, despite them having a Aaron Rodgers still, despite them supposed to have a stingy secondary. I think the Dolphins are a much more talented team than Green Bay, and we'll watch them tonight. They do play. I think I want to say it's Packers versus the Cardinals, but I know it's the Packers. Packers versus the Rams. Wow, that sucks. But yeah, I understand. We would have not a lot of faith as a real playoff team. We do match up well against Kansas City, but it is Mahomes. I agree. You know, it is Patrick Mahomes. You never want to play Patrick Mahomes. You know, like, if anyone thinks I'm afraid of Patrick Mahomes, and you want to say I'm afraid, yes, I am afraid of one of the best, if not the best, quarterback we've seen in the last couple of years, 5 years, bro. Patrick Mahomes is freaking Patrick Mahomes. So, oops. I want the Bills. Donald Henry. That would be so emotional, so much fun. A rematch against the Bills in Buffalo, I think, does split that way against Miami's favor. I know this doesn't make a lot of sense, and you might call me a dummy for what I'm about to say, but one of the reasons why this is how my brain operates anyways. When we lost to Buffalo, I was like, woof. Well, at least if we play them in the playoffs again, I know that we should probably beat them. Because to go 3-0 in a team in one season is extremely tough. So 1-1, I definitely think we can beat Buffalo in the playoffs. Bada swing. I see us going to Tennessee, Buffalo, and Cincinnati in a championship. Bro, Kevin Lee, that would be, I think that's the type of scenario where, like I said, records do not matter in the playoffs. Look at the Giants and their 2 Super Bowl runs. It doesn't matter what your record is, as long as you find that magic, that lightning in a bottle in the playoffs, and you take off. Whew, you're good to go, baby. That's all you need to see. So if we beat Tennessee, get the jitters out of the way, get nice and a pumping, play Buffalo, you know, whether they're a little rusty after a first week bye or whether, you know, we just happen to just play them in the second round. I think that having gone 1-1, having so that we can beat them and then that we can hang with them in Buffalo, I think we use those 2 combined experiences and beat them in the divisional round. And then against Cincinnati, you know, maybe we lose in the AFC Championship, but out of everyone to face in the AFC Championship, you're telling me we don't have to play Buffalo with everything they want to do to get the Super Bowl, that we don't have to play Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship, that it's the Bengals? The Bengals? In a revenge game for us after what happened in week 4? Talk to me nice, Mr. Kevin Lee. That's, oof, my gosh. I should be donating to you because that question just got me freaking fired up, honestly. That scenario is the one scenario that I can see for the Miami Dolphins making the Super Bowl. And if this happens, credit to both of us. You know, if the Dolphins go play Tennessee, then Buffalo, then Cincinnati, you see the Miami Dolphins that 2023 Super Bowl. I'm not saying we'll win, but that's how we'll get there. And that'll be so fun. Yeah, Green Bay loses tonight and they'll be out. So I don't know how energetic Rodgers will be next week. It really depends on the success of this game. That being said, I don't think the Rams will beat them. So, well, it's Baker Mayfield now, so who knows? Oh, Dolphin Don must have said something because I missed it. But I can't scroll up. Sorry. I should have worn my glasses before this. We're not beating Green Bay. I think we'll beat Green Bay in Miami. You know, that's a game that I thought before the season in May. I thought the Dolphins were going to beat Green Bay based off of the acquisitions we had gotten and the talent that I projected us, you know, this team that I projected us to grow into. And this is before I saw how bad the Packers were. So I think we can beat them? Of course, I think we can beat the Green Bay Packers. And no question. No question. At home on Christmas, semi-prime time game because it's nationally televised, not real prime time game, but man, that energy in Hard Rock is going to be different, especially after what we've seen the last 3 games on the road, especially after on Buffalo. The welcome home Miami Dolphins. I better see us all there at the stadium, 12:15, and ready in our seats at 12:30 to stand up. Welcome home, little Fins. It's back to Miami. Time to swim. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Let's go Dolphins, guys. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Kansas City and Mahomes and their team will rip you apart. Mark, no. They will definitely shoot a lot of blows, bro. But Rocky Balboa style, baby. We'll take some hits. We'll take a lot of damage. But as long as we get a win and come out on top, you can come swinging at me all you want, Patty Mahomes. I think this Dolphins team has the firepower. And when we're clicking on all cylinders, we can keep up with anyone on offense. Let's just do it, bro. I don't think the Chiefs have the personnel to stop us anyways. And it'll be up to, can we slow them down a little bit? Can a twig divert a stream? The answer is yes. So, Tua with a clutch 50% completion rate. MVP, let's go. Ooh, that was a facetious comment. That's why I got to get glasses, man, so I don't read those little comments. That was saying Buffalo doesn't want to see us again. Yeah, man. Like, I think that's a pretty common sentiment, at least around the Buffalo Bills fans. Was almost a game where we won. I was going to say a little bit of a war of attrition, but it wasn't that blow for blow, honestly. I'm no longer afraid of the snow. I'll tell you that much. I know for a fact that we can run it down your throat if need be. So let's ride. Funny you mentioned the Giants. That the year they beat the undefeated Pats, they lost them in a close game at the end of the season. That's what got me confident they would beat them if they meet in the Super Bowl. Hey, George, exactly. It's the kind of scenario, and we see it in all sports, especially a rival. I mean, any team in general, but especially a rival. It is very hard to beat them in the regular season, sweep it, and then beat them in the playoffs again. The amount of intensity that game will have created, the amount of pressure, the chip on the shoulders of these guys to say, oh, I'm meeting the playoffs again. I'm not getting swept, So at least there's not that factor in. That being said, going 1-1 against Buffalo was a little tough. But I think we can beat them in the playoffs, guys. Exactly. Ailman. Kansas City almost lost to the Texans. The Cowboys almost lost to the Texans last week, guys. It happens. Good teams have lapses, and it's one of the reasons why I wasn't too stressing about the Chargers or the Niners game, because the bad teams show up to play against the best teams sometimes. So if you lose to some of the best teams, it sucks, guys. Like, then at the end of the day, again, you can't excuse a loss, but we did lose to the 49ers, who are surging. Brock Purdy looks like he's tearing teams apart. We lost to the Bills, who are one of the best teams in football and a divisional rival, and we hung close. And then the Chargers, well, I guess Justin Herbert showed us a little bit about the Tua debate, but it's not exactly like we lost to the Lions or the Raiders. Am I right, Patriots and Jets fans? We're good to go. I see it being Miami versus Cincinnati and Buffalo versus Kansas City in second round once we beat Tennessee or Jacksonville. Then we can stomp Buffalo if by some miracle Allen doesn't choke versus Kansas City in the playoffs. Yeah, man, it's again, I love that scenario, man. Like the first scenario, that's the Titans, Bills, Cincinnati was fire. But Miami versus Cincinnati round 1. Ooh. Oh no, I get what you're saying. It is a scenario. It's a lovely scenario, man. Tua hasn't clicked in months. Come on, guys, bro. At one point, Tua hadn't thrown an interception since September 29th. Man, he hadn't thrown a pick in 2-3 months. Oh, like 2 months. What am I saying? I'm bad at math, guys. And then he was absolutely tearing it up, and he's still so far ahead in so many passing statistics. Come on, bro. Watch football. Bro, I want to get 3 in the playoffs. If we can't beat them, we don't deserve to be in there. Oh, obviously, like if we beat the Bills in the playoffs, game 3, rest assured, I don't think any team will be able to beat us. The mental challenge of beating the Bills once again, the emotion, the mental toughness that'll be needed to win that game, the emotions that'll be poured into it, let alone the contestant of skill. Yeah, if we beat Buffalo, like no one really scares me. Spanish name. Aleman it is, bro. I just wanted to double check, man. Lions are low-key dangerous right now. Yeah, man. That's what we were saying when everyone was like, the Lions had a great game against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are trash. And the Lions are 7-7 right now, man. They have turned it around. I said it, bro. When they played the Eagles week 1, everybody forgets about that game. That was a 3-point game. It was 38-35. Like, the Lions have had a tough go about it this season, but they have clicked. They've made something happen. They're kicking ass right now. It's pretty cool. Remember the 08 Giants. We'll make a similar run. Shag Fins, that'll be gorgeous. Hopefully we have a bit of a better record than them, but hey, end result is all that matters, baby. Herbert is him, but it was a good game. Hey, I can concede to that point. Of all the jokes and trolling aside, there's no need to tear down Justin Herbert to prop up Tua, or there's no need to tear down any QB to prop up any QB, honestly. I think we can all agree that 2020 class of Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, they're all great quarterbacks. I don't know about calling Herbert him, but it was a good game, and he's a great QB. Dang, what a class. Exactly, Shaq Vins. And look at Cincinnati last year. Came in as a wild card and went to Super Bowl. Everyone is 0-0 in the playoffs. Exactly, Kevin. Everyone is 0-0 in the playoffs. None of the regular season matters. None of that other BS matters. Once you get to the playoffs, it's a clean slate. Your record only matters for your seeding and home field advantage. Aside from that, it's just all about who wins. If the Stars win out, they go 11-6. They get the 5th seed, and Dolphins, even if they win out, be at best the 6th seed. That means at Kansas City or at Cincinnati, assuming Bills finish in AFC. That's if the Chargers lose out. Scenario. The Chargers will win every game of the remaining schedule, besides the Colts game. Because just wouldn't that be the most Chargers thing to do? Chargers going to Charger? But we'll see. I just know that the Dolphins have to worry about themselves. And for the first time in a while, we can actually worry about ourselves. Just win our games. And we're good to rock. We'll be good and looking at 11-6, 10-7, but playoffs nonetheless. And that's all I need to see from the Miami Dolphins. How are we looking at, guys? How are we feeling? I didn't open up the panel because I am probably going to go dip in a second to chill with the family. I'm probably going to go to 8 o'clock as I normally would have, even though I did start this a little late. I apologize for that. But I don't think you guys can hear my family. I'm trying to adjust my microphone volume, but they're just being a little loud out there. So it's going to be a fun time, though. We're all looking good right now. I just wanted to hold it down for a tad bit, We're still vibing right now on Miami Sports Podcast Network. Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Yes, sir. A fun time indeed. Tomorrow, Hot Take Tuesday with me, Nikki Smokes, and Steven is going to be a fun time. Check us out, Clock Blockers. I know we missed no Clock Blockers on Monday today, unfortunately, but Tuesday, it's going to be a fun time. A little bit of panel, too. Should be a nice little talking. So tune in for that. Let's get back to the comments now. Got to make the playoffs first and have a little confidence with this defense. We have given up the most points in the AFC. Unacceptable. Banged up, weird defense at times, little sloppy. At times, I had to catch myself. Xavier Howard, can you please show up? At one point, I was saying Kader Coe, who is the best corner on this team. I was a little drunk on Saturday, to be fair, but defense gotta tighten up, man. I understand injuries are a factor. At one point, Javon Holland, that neck injury was scary. The reports say he should be fine. The neck padding was more of precautionary because his right arm was on fire, but they concluded afterwards it just came from a stinger. So he's fine. He's alive. We're good to go. But we are one little dip away from a fatal slip up, a fatal injury, and that is never something you want to see. What the heck? Oh, sorry, I couldn't find the thing for a second. Oof. Every game is a playoff game at this point. Kind of honestly valid. The Miami Dolphins cannot afford to lose anymore. We technically can, guys, but we shouldn't be losing any more games. It's not the time to do so, guys. It's the time to tighten up, tighten ship. Whether it's getting to what works on offense, adjusting on defense, playing smarter, clean, efficient football. We've just got to be better, is what it comes down to. We've seen the ceiling for the Miami Dolphins. We've seen what they can do. We've seen it. Execute it, please. I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, well, they figured out the game plan and we just kind of sat there. Figure things out, Dolphins. We seem to have come to fruition against the Bills, but we'll have to actually win. No better Christmas gift than a Miami win on Sunday. Oh, I agree. Santa Claus, please. All I want for Christmas is a Miami Dolphins win against the Packers, against Aaron Rodgers. I think as a fan, I'm pretty excited to actually watch Aaron Rodgers live and in person playing football. Just an impressive man, So I'm glad it's not going to be no Jordan Love stuff, all Aaron Rodgers. But most importantly, a Dolphins win would be glorious, and then respect from Rodgers to Tua would also be pretty cool to see. If the Dolphins win and afterwards they do the little picture, they do the helmet to helmet tap, they do the talk, a good little interaction would go a long way. Show some more credibility for the homie Tua. Nope. We are very thin on defense and it shows, but some of the play calling on defense leaves a lot to be desired as well. I agree, George. There's times where for example, against the Niners, when the blitz wasn't finding its way home, we just continue to do it despite being picked apart. There are times when we just placed a little sloppy, and it's a little dumb. We let quarterbacks run amok, and it's frustrating, to say the least. But fixable, I hope. Come on. Nando, please enjoy the evening with your family. Yes, Mark, I agree. I think I'm about to do so right now. I was trying to stretch it out to the 40-minute mark, but I believe it is family time. I'm getting a little bit of messages. So you have all been absolutely wonderful this evening. I just want us to remember, it's always fun to be a Miami Dolphin. It is always time to be happy, to enjoy. And as Mark said, despite being a Bills fan, enjoy time with your family, guys. The holidays are coming up. I hope we're all having, whether it's whatever you celebrate, whatever if you don't celebrate, as long as you're having a wonderful December, that's all I care about, That goes to Dolphins fans, Chargers fans, Bills fans, anyone, guys. It's the holiday season. It's the fun time. This time of the year is supposed to be happy with your loved ones, with your families, with your friends. Just enjoy. Just have fun. This is my time to thrive, my time to be positive, my time to have fun. That no matter what, for me, it's Christmas time, baby. So, I get a good one, all love. It's all good. But, Pamela, I'm sorry. Do have some family. I didn't go for too long today, only about 40 minutes. But if you love, hey, scroll back. It was a nice little feedback from you on Twitter. So thank you so much. Always positive vibes here. But hi. And unfortunately, I am wrapping up those. So goodbye as well. But Kelly, thanks for tuning in, boss. Later. All love, man. I appreciate it. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, Tuesday, 9:30 in the morning. Miami Sports Music, Hot Take Tuesday with me and Steven and Mr. Nicky Smokes. A fun time. Another short show after an embarrassing Dolphins loss. No. I just have a life and family. But a good try at the troll. Always appreciate someone trying to dampen the spirits. It'll never work, though. My positivity, my fun, my hope is like a raging, freaking, burning sun. Got to wait about 9 billion years or something for any hope to be extinguished. We ride. A few takes. We'll do the little wrap up. I just want to say, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Holiday pleasantries aside, you guys, do not give up on the Miami Dolphins, guys. As we enjoy with our family and our loved ones and our friends and partake in this holiday season, our Miami Dolphins get to work. Get ready to grind even harder. They know the stakes from 8-3 to 8-6. They know that now it's time to put up or shut up. They've got a home game against the Packers. They've got to win. Show Aaron Rodgers who's boss, that it's 2 a time still, and that we're ready to rock. Then we go to Foxborough, and we've got to show Mac Jones and little Bill Belichick that it is no hope that the Miami Dolphins own them and that Tua will stay undefeated against his former backup jockstrap holder, Mac Jones. Okay. Then we come back to face the New York Jets, the same disrespectful Jets who thought that playing a third stringer against us gave them the audacity to be able to clown in our faces when they started to go up late in the fourth quarter, throwing the waddle back at us in TD celebrations and doing a mockery. Well, the mockery begins part 2, but on the other foot as they come to Miami week 18 and we're ready to rock and sock them and mess them up. A 3-game win streak would do wonders not only for the Dolphins' morale of the players, but for us fans as well. Give us hope that this is a team that, while it has been streaky with win streaks and losing streaks and win streaks and losing streaks and win streaks to end it off, the Miami Dolphins are a legitimate team, a team that is ready to contend this year. Because when we get to the playoffs, that's right. When, not if. You're 0-0 in the playoffs, and none of it matters. We're there to rock. We're there to win. And it all begins on Christmas Day against the Green Bay Packers. Let's get back to winning football. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Smash the like, comment, and subscribe if you're still listening to this. That was a fun little ramble off the dome right there. Hope you guys enjoyed that wrap up. Pamela, I try to give one more take, so hopefully that worked as well. But George, good night. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Stay positive. Remember, chins up, fins up. We'll always be a vibin'. Boom. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on Hot Take Tuesday. So, bada bing, bada bam. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys. Appreciate you all. Stay safe and enjoy your holidays.